then we will also get the faith and taste of listening to them. So, to serve Maharaj, let's all listen attentively and welcome him with a loud Haribol.
The computers is connected. Maharaj is not. Okay, that's good. Prabhuji, can you set up the microphone just Maharaj so that he's audible?
It's set up.
Good, right?
He's in top of it. This young man's got his. Well done. No, 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 no. This is good. It's good. I'm just going to wait till everybody gets settled, especially our sound man. I was told on the way over here, our history goes way back. Yes?
Yes, Maharaj.
Washington, D.C. Potomac Temple?
Potomac Temple.
What was the year?
2001.
2001. That's a few years ago.
25.
Yeah. And how long have you lived out here in the West Coast?
Well, I've been there 2000 to 2003. I've been traveling as a consultant for station here in Bay Area. Then after that 2003, I full 2002 and up here. We moved here to ISB community. Almost 24 years.
Seminar Maharaj about the Vedic cosmology.
Vedic cosmology.
Here in 2002 or 2003 we attended
That was ancient history.
Yes.
At the Potomac Temple.
No, here.
Here only.
Here. When? 2014?
2002.
2002. Here. You two have good memories. I have a terrible memory.
We do a lot of services, Maharaj. So we do one or two, so we can remember. Crown Plaza, I think, in Vilpitas. Kailash and Gaurav, maybe might remember.
Okay.
Kailash Ramaswamy.
Okay.
He moved back to India.
Some bells are ringing. Faint memory bells. What about you?
He's my younger son.
And you Chicago and.
University of Michigan, so when you're there for that program.
Oh. What are you doing now?
I'm still there. I'll go back in the fall.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll be seeing. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you, because you're still with the university program, I'm sure. And I visit, so I'm sure we'll see. Okay. Krishna permitting. Well, just on the car ride over here, I pulled up the flyer one more time to make sure I got the topic right, and I saw the same flyer outside because coming in the door. Did you select the topic?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Okay. Adopting Bhagavat culture at home, a practical guide for corporate professionals. I saw a lot of corporate professionals at the San Jose Temple on Sunday and the Saturday before that, and the Friday before that. It was like, it's a mob of young Indian professionals, corporate professionals. And I was thinking specifically about the title. The first word I wanted to edit, the first word is adopting. It's something, I mean, the use of the English language adopting there's a strong connotation with adopting a child. And, it's not your child, but you've adopted the child, you make the child your child by legal means when you adopt a child. So I was thinking, maybe a better word than adopting is internalizing, meaning, at least for me, Bhagavat culture is not exactly something that you adopt in that same sense of the term adopt, but you bring it within. It's like the Bhagavatam itself is not just a book of knowledge. It's certainly a book of knowledge, but it's something that by reading, reciting, and living with the Bhagavatam, it goes inside, and it guides one's life, everything, all features of life. Before coming to this part of the country, I was in Naperville. You know where Naperville is, right? Yeah? Have you been there?
I went for the Fawn and Vaishnava trip.
You did. During some school year, you went?
He go with Manjari's hand.
Huh?
Manjari and Shashikala Shashikala market.
Yeah.
They drive from the university, so I just take them.
Okay. 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 Well, I was in Naperville before coming here, and someone in the audience, Jamuna Jivana by name, and his wife Sri Radhika, he asked a very similar question. No, somebody in the audience, as just the way it went, it was a newer person in the audience that asked wanted to hear me speak on that similar point. And in the audience was Jamuna Jivana, who said, long ago, I asked you that question, and you gave a very succinct three-part answer. I thought that would be a good place to begin for this audience, and then embellish. So the 3 points that he mentioned that I said to him some years ago, like 20 years ago when he was beginning his career. Strong sadhana, of course, strong sadhana has different parts. Certainly it has the part of chanting, strong chanting, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, Bhagavat Dharma requires, or it's intrinsic to Bhagavat Dharma is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So sadhana of careful study of Srimad Bhagavatam and serving the elevated devotees, the mission of our founder Acharya, and those who are, this is my answer to Jamuna Jivana, those who are senior Vaishnavas to you, who you look up to and admire and respect, try to serve them. And it's Vaishnav Seva. These 5 points, many of you have been around a while. And according to Rupa Goswami, there's 64 items of devotional service. And of those 64, 5 are most important. And according to Rupa Goswami, any one of these 5, with some absorption in one of these 5, is sufficient to prompt or move one to the stage of spontaneous devotion. And serving of the Vaishnavas is one. And hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is another. And chanting the holy name is another. And living in Dublin, California is another. Whoops. Living in a holy place, like Vrindavan and Mathura, is mentioned by Rupa Goswami. and worshiping the deity form of the Lord. Since you were attending the Vaishnav etiquette seminar, maybe you remember, maybe you don't remember. Do you have a good memory? No. The main topic for 5 classes was Canto 3, Chapter 29, Explanation of Devotional Service by Kapila to Devahuti. Oh yeah, I remember that one. And in the course of explaining, he Kapila Dev, gives a very succinct, very similar to Rupa Goswami's definition of what pure devotional service is. And it describes, the sadhana of a pure devotee, but specifically it describes the sadhya, the outcome, where one has come to the stage of a very strong affinity for hearing topics about Krishna, name, form, quality, pastimes of Krishna, and derives great satisfaction and happiness in that simply hearing. So that's a symptom of pure devotional service. So in order to be for corporate professionals, or for others that aren't corporate professionals, college students, and whomever, housewives, and whatever, whomever. What's your age back there? Yeah, you. 12. You're going to school, correct? Good. Yeah, but it's summertime. What are you doing during the summertime? Playing, right? And coming to the Monday evening programs. No? First time. First time. Oh, this is going to be boring for you. You're not a corporate professional, that's the topic. Maybe one day you'll be a corporate professional. So you'll be ahead of the curve, right? Okay. It'll be a fantastic opportunity if you, any one of us, but that you develop a liking for hearing the scripture on a regular basis. It's summertime, but that means they don't have your academic pressure. So you have some discretionary time available, and it would be really fantastic, super fantastic, if you could find some literature, Ramayana or Mahabharata, or something that has intrigue, and you just want to read more and read more because you get to a part that's really interesting, but it's time to take rest, so you get up in the morning and you want to read a little more. And on a regular basis, read. And if you start doing something like that, then it becomes like brushing your teeth. It's something that you do every day. It becomes just part of your life. And if that happens and you make this part of your life, you're in good shape. That what good shape means, you'll have a protective field around you as you're growing in your studies and trying to decide what you want to do with your life and career and all that lovely stuff. You'll have some protective shield around you, the bhakti shield, where bhakti shield means, that's like this definition by Kapila Dev to his mother Devahuti. What is devotional service? It's pure. where there's an affinity for hearing these topics. But it doesn't just fall from the sky. It's something, if you do a little bit, do a little bit, do a little bit, it becomes part of your life. And you feel it as like you know, you don't get up in the morning and don't brush your teeth. You probably eat breakfast every morning, probably have lunch every day. So it's something that you do every day. And if you do it every day, then what something that will probably happen is probably your experience at the university by your whatever bhakti that you have from your childhood, and it's now in your college days. It has an infectious way of attracting other people who don't have that exposure from their early age to find it attractive. Like kirtan, from all cultures all over the place in the world, people like music. It's just one of those things. They like eating and they like music. So kirtan is a very natural and attractive way of bringing people together with Krishna at the center, the holy name of Krishna. On the Sunday before I came here, Madhava, the Kirtanier, Madhava, celebrated nice devotee from Mauritius. And he's going to be, so he was having kirtan for 2.5 hours at the Sunday feast. After the lecture, he went on for 2.5 hours. Actually, he was a feature, and I was the speaker. I did the Hari Katha, and he did the Hari Kirtan, or Harinam. And it's quite natural. So the topic of the Bhagavad life, bringing within oneself, not just adopting one's life to Bhagavad culture, but bringing within one's life. So chanting the Bhagavatam itself, and serving elevated Vaishnavas, finding such persons, hearing from them, and trying your best to assist them in some way that you understand is their affinity, their life's mission, and assist them with their mission. And it's a way that one can go through a corporate professional or anybody else can go through life and stay protected, whether a 12-year-old or a 20, how many? 20? 18. Just 18? Really? Okay, I'll believe you. At whatever age. With this, the principle that I just am sharing, I want Yamuna to speak something about her experience of working with a young lady who came to her home for a program. For 15 years, she was around devotees but didn't have a regular practice of reading. And she got infected by Yamuna, and she's part of a reading group of 8 ladies, and she reads some number of pages of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And wow, this young lady was like an electric bulb, high illumination. She was really happy, bubbly happy. Could you share a little bit that journey for her? Is she a corporate professional too?
She's not,
Okay.
but she's a professional. Yeah, she's been around like really around devotees and going to the temple and programs for 15 years in LA, but never had a taste for reading. I met her when we were out on Harinam, and she was wearing Tulsi and was like, I didn't know you guys are around here, right? And so for years, she's been just coming to our programs here and there. And I started a reading group. I invited her, and she was like, oh, I don't really have a taste for reading. And I was like, just try it. It's 8 pages a day. If you read 8 pages a day of Bhagavatam, then you finish in 5 years, right? So we started for Purushottamas, the beginning, and she was very hesitant. And very quickly, she's really started looking forward to it. I read in the mornings. We don't read actually together, but we have a WhatsApp group and we discuss also. So people can read when they want. But she said she's just started really looking forward to every day. And now she has a notebook because she's writing down questions and realizations. So when Maharaj was coming, she said, can I bring my notebook and ask questions? And she was very excited to be able to have someone to ask the questions to. So I think the key is, she didn't have a taste, but she just was like, okay, I'm just going to start doing it every day in 8 pages. It's very doable. It's like, can take 15 minutes to a half an hour, depending on how much you want to reread or really take it in, or what part you're in, how many purports. So I think the key is just starting. She just started with something that was very doable, and she very quickly developed a taste. So that's been an exciting experience for me to witness. And then I get more inspired because I get to see her getting so inspired, and it's like the taste is just contagious.
And I asked her to speak about it because the enthusiasm, Rupa Goswami teaches, Utsahan Nischayat Daryat, etc., 6 principles that enhance bhakti, and enthusiasm is number 1 on Rupa Goswami's list. And wow, was she enthusiastic. Shoo. Like, it was very special. As she's expressing appreciation, I'm also appreciating. And the questions weren't like super profound or, really lengthy, but they were very personal for her, things that she had read and things that she had some doubts about. I remember one of those doubts about questions was, what about people that are deaf? Because there's so much emphasis on hearing, but what about people that are deaf? Are they like in the garbage can, or what happens to those people? And the answer is, it's very simple. There's the physical, piece of flesh on the side of the head, and then there's the auditory sense that has a spiritual dimension to it, or the spiritual ear. We had a little discussion about that. Here's a quickie. Out-of-body experience persons relate from different, medical, car accidents, something, whatever the circumstances, and they're out of their body, looking at the scene and describing auditory, visual, memory, what's going on out of the body, looking at their body. Below, if there's a car accident and bodies are sprayed out all over the sidewalk or the highway, anyway, etc. Hearing is assisted by the ear at the side of the head, and if hearing is bad, you certainly can get a hearing aid. But even if hearing is gone, the hearing that as long as the soul is present, there's a spiritual ear, and there's hearing on that platform. And she was relieved and very satisfied. So, in other words, things in living in corporate America, because that's what the topic I was asked to speak about, it's messy. It's very complicated, and rarely, for the most part, spiritual. You may run across a few spiritually minded persons here and there, but it's generally the opposite direction type of people, generally, and it's not wholesome. And as far as creating an atmosphere that's assisting your developing bhakti, anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. We're told by scripture to accept things that are favorable for bhakti and reject things that are unfavorable for bhakti. And corporate life is not favorable for bhakti. And many, 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 might say most, but certainly many, many of our devotee community people are involved in corporate America. That's why it's an appropriate topic to speak about. And I use the phrase, the protective bubble or protective shield. Through developing bhakti, then automatically that's something that happens. One is protected. I wish for you protection as you go back to school at the age of 12. And one of the ways to help you being protected is not just blessings from a sadhu, but you taking up the effort of hearing. There's if you like to read, that's fantastic. But there's lots of audio recordings that you can hear, and enjoy. Do you like to hear? What do you like to read? Oh, good, fantastic. You help him find a book that he likes. And then, do a little bit of reading with him, or, you'll read it like she just described, different times of the day. You don't have to read together necessarily physically, but then discuss. And so there's by the end of the summer, there's a little taste for, you can do it, I'm sure. You're only 18. First time here? Wow. Who's mom?
So he's my
Friend's
friend's son.
son.
He was doing a sleepover at our house, so I brought him.
Nice topic for a 12-year-old. Good, we're a little flexible with the audience that comes. One of there's two topics, two additional topics related to those 3 points that I mentioned already. The message of the principal message of Srimad Bhagavatam happens to be the same principal message of Bhagavad Gita. Their messages aren't different messages. We had this discussion at San Jose we had home programs. There is a term, Paribhasha Sutra. Paribhasha Sutra, you all know what the meaning of sutra is. A little short saying, a terse aphorism. And in that aphorism, there's knowledge. You just have to unpack it. And you have to have an acumen, a subtle intelligence to understand a sutra, spiritual intelligence to understand a sutra. So the Paribhasha Sutra is a very short phrase, or an aphorism, or a short sloka, that summarizes the essence of a book. And to understand the purpose and the meaning of the book, you must understand that Paribhasa Sutra. And the Paribhasha Sutra, for example, of Srimad Bhagavatam is the verse 1.3.28, which says Krishna is the source of everyone, everything. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete Chanksa Kalapungsa. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Now, chapter 3, this is a little education. Chapter 3 of Canto 1 is one of the responses to the 6 questions that come in Chapter 1 of Canto 1, Srimad Bhagavatam. And one of those 6 questions is, what's the, please give a description, O Sutta Goswami, please give a description of the incarnations of Vishnu as they appear in this world. The avatars of Vishnu, please. So that's what chapter 3 is, the avatars of Vishnu. And Krishna is listed amongst all the avatars of Vishnu. We had this discussion in one home program over the weekend. So one fellow was asking, why is it that you Hare Krishna people say that Krishna is the source of avatars, whereas it's commonly known in India that Krishna is one of the avatars of Vishnu? And the answer is pretty simple. It's right in Canto 1, Chapter 3. Krishna is listed as one of the avatars of Vishnu. And Vishnu is an expansion of Narayana, and Narayana is an expansion of Sankarshan, and Sankarshan is an expansion of Balaram, and Balaram is an expansion of Krishna. So Krishna is the origin from whom Vishnu comes, and Krishna appears as an avatar of Vishnu. Here's a very simple way to explain it. Most of us sitting in this room came through the door that's right around the corner. And we existed before we came through that door. And then we came through the door. Similarly, Krishna is the original source of everything, and he appears as an avatar of Vishnu, but he's the source of Vishnu. And that's the verse. That's the Paribhasa Sutra of the entire 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you don't understand that one, you're not going to understand the Bhagavatam. And if you do understand that one, it's the key to understand all the rest of the 17,999 verses of the Bhagavatam. You must understand that one. And so, similarly, it's a standard that you can say it's a rule, or it's a conformity to rules of composition of Sanskrit. There are texts, and the texts have such a book, or such a verse, a sloka. Bhagavad Gita is similar. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bodha bhava samandita. So to understand the Bhagavad Gita, it's necessary to understand that verse, which says Krishna is the prabhava, the source of emanation of everything, sarvasya. Sarvasya means everything, matter, spirit, and his own expansions. He's the source of everything. Prabhava, aham. It's a person, first person, singular. Aham. Sarvasya, prabhava. So one needs to understand Krishna is the source of everything. And once that is understood, then everything else can fall into place. And if that's not understood, it's all confusing. Very confusing. So corporate life is also, it's confusing, but it's the mode of passion. It's not the nicest of the modes of nature kind of atmosphere to be working in. And therefore, the Bhagavad culture or Bhagavad Dharma or hearing regularly from Srimad Bhagavatam and such literatures that are glorifying the devotees of Bhagavan, the Bhagavata personalities being glorified in the book Bhagavata, understanding about those personalities is also part of this same spiritual culture. Just like, here's something to illustrate the same thing. Just like yesterday at the Sunday feast at the ISV temple, I spent the first 20 minutes just describing one personality, a great Vaishnava, because it's Bhagavad Dharma. And that great Vaishnava, his name is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he's a godsend personality. There was a time, and one of the examples, there was a time in the history of the followers of Lord Chaitanya that the veracity, the existence of the disciplic succession in which Lord Chaitanya came and the followers of Lord Chaitanya came was being put to question by some Sri Vaishnava scholars. Without the history, repeating the history. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was present. He was very elderly when that situation arose. And it was out of envy and competition and, material malice that was going on. But he was approached to please resolve this. And instead of going because of his age, he sufficiently educated Baladev Vidyabhusan, who was younger, who was his Shiksha disciple, to go to Jaipur and sort it out, please. And so the protection was from bhakti. Bhakti was being challenged. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's bhakti was being directly challenged by, people of substance that just didn't know who was Lord Chaitanya. So they thought they were right. And then they ended up saying, you're right. By Bhakti Shakti. So same, corporate life is has its riskiness. It's not conducive, or as in Prabhupada's language in the Bhagavatam, surcharged with opposition. That's a good way to describe corporate life in America today. Surcharged with opposition for spiritual well-being. Surcharged with opposition. Without naming, such as this and that and the other thing and the other thing. Oh, one of the other considerations that I had mentioned to this devotee that 20 years ago asked how should he protect himself being in corporate life in America. Your food choices. Very important. I mean, it's true in college. It's true for those of us who travel a lot. And those of you who are grahastas, there's probably a few grahastas in the room. There are situations in your life where you're invited, you find yourself in a situation where you're being asked to have a meal and you don't really know what's in the meal. And you don't want to offend the other person. And you're used to taking only Krishna Prasadam because our acharyas tell us it's one of the essentials. It's one of the essential teachings of Rupa Goswami. Jiva Vegam, controlling the tongue. Atakshi Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grayam Indriyai Sevan Mukhi Jivadao Swayameva Svaratyadaha. Control the tongue and you can control all the other senses. Don't control the tongue. Good luck. Your senses are going to control you. So control the tongue. And eating and vibrating are the two functions of the tongue. So this is advice to those who want to be immersed in Bhagavad Dharma, not just adopt it, but be immersed in Bhagavad life. Be very careful about your food choices. So I'll just share a little bit, and drill on the topic a little bit, because I was recently with someone who was saying, yeah, but. So this is advice. You can use it as much as you find it fits. If the shoe fits, wear it, as they say. When you're in the corporate sector, you're carrying bhakti, and there are a lot of people that aren't. So you can bhakti-ize, or spiritualize, or infect, in a good sense of infect, people with bhakti shakti. Because otherwise they're not going to get it. They'll do with the mode of passion thing that corporate America is made up of. But if you can inject by your personal speech, one of the functions of the tongue, and your behavior, things, choices that good conduct, act as one who has character would act, your speech and your conduct, and your food choices. Because that's an issue. Anamaya, one of the first, according to the Upanishads, the very, very first level, not even for human species only, but for all species, food, anamaya. The subsistence, that which sustains life, is a realization of Brahman, according to Taittiriya Upanishad, of the beginning stage. So, when people know that you're particular, you're a little, whatever it is, my mother taught me, or my teacher taught me, or my scripture taught me, or my nature, my choice in life is, I'm a little particular about my food choices. Like people in America, some of them are vegan. And then, so they have to, be selective about what they eat. And people may look at you like, what's with you? But it's just who I am. That's what's with me. And, I'm very particular. So no onions and garlic. But it's not just onions and garlic. It's Krishna Prasadam. So in conversations with people that are grahastas, and in, sometimes in compromising situations of not wanting to offend anybody, and they're invited and they're sitting at a table, and so they should know before you're sitting at the table what your food choices are and what they aren't. And then you're sitting at the table and it's within the category of your food choices. What are you going to do? You have to offer it to Krishna. So in your own way, as persons that are in grahastha life or corporate life or life, you say certain prayers. And you just, pardon me, I'm going to say my prayers. They don't know what that means. That's okay. They don't need to know what it means. You know what it means. You're muttering some things, softly offering prayer to offer to the personality of Godhead. And it's not on your altar, but it's in your mind, and you do those things without fail. Here's a little example. I'm not a grahastha. A few days back, I was at my sister's home, and she is a grahastha, and she's not a Vaishnava grahastha. She's my sister, and she knows that I'm particular about what I eat. So, there were some fruits So I just, the phrase sat there, they just sat there, they sat there. And then, when it wasn't in a manner that was disturbing to her, some prayers were, softly uttered, and the fruit was offered to Krishna. And then some of the prasadam was brought from Juana's home, and she took some of that, and I took some of that, and there was no disturbance, there was no insult. And you all can do the same. Grahastas and corporate people can do the same. And by doing that, you're transmitting knowingly, purposefully, or otherwise, you're transmitting bhakti to others. Because they may ask, why don't you eat this or that? And what are those prayers that you're offering? People may or may not ask such questions. But the door is now open for you to give an answer because they asked the question. You can bhakti-ize, spiritualize their existence by your carrying bhakti in your heart and being true to it. Be true to yourself and be true to the line of disciplic succession that you're part of. And it's protection. Now, I don't know what our 12-year-old is going to do when he goes to school when spring comes, or fall comes, excuse me. But, you can carry some prasadam from home if mom and dad want him to do that. And, by principle, and people could say what, the other kids can say whatever they're going to say, but, if he has a principled sense about himself, then that's my food. The other stuff, no thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. Politely. So learning how to do like that, that's nice. During this visit, there have been, my plan has been to speak a little and allow maximum time for questions. Is there this group like that too? Okay, so I'm going to stop speaking and invite all of you to ask whatever topics you like. We'll see if we can respond to those topics.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Shri Prabhupada. I have a question. How to deal devotees while we are serving? Actually, everybody wants to serve to their own capacity to please Guru and Krishna. But while we are serving under a leader or group of other devotees, it's a group effort. So many times we got offended.
Get what?
Offended.
Offended.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, I'm not like I take an offense, but somebody
It's
is hurting
common.
you.
What you're bringing up is a common phenomena. Go ahead.
So somebody is hurting in a devotee association, even though we are not trying to do any mistakes, but somehow I feel so much leadership. I really want how to carry before going to temple. We are meditating while chanting or something.
When you get social, you get people with different personalities and different views and different isms, and they bump into each other. I'm aware.
Okay, so
You want to know what to do when that happens.
so how to carry the same mode, even though I'm trying to say, okay, this is to please Krishna and my Guru, let it be, and I want to continue that service, but somehow back mind because of a conditioning, it hurts. How to get rid of this and continue my service?
He knows. And he's only 18. You just hold on to the mic. Put it down. Put it down. What you're asking is the reason why in Naperville, which is a suburb of Chicago, And it's a growing community, and when there's growing communities, something happens. There's more people, and people bump into each other, and there's conflict. It's not blaming the people. It's just we're less than perfect, and you get less than perfect people in a popcorn machine, and so because of that expansion of our temples, it was decided 2 years ago we would have a seminar which we called Vaishnava Etiquette. And different speakers were speakers on that theme. I chose the same theme for 2 years. And the theme was respect. So he'll tell you, or the person with the yellow shirt sitting right behind him can give you the link, or give to you the link, you can share it with others. That seminar on respect. And it was drawn from Canto 3, Chapter 29, Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Dev speaking to Devahuti. And it's not just touches this topic, it's the whole 5-part seminar is on the topic that you're asking. It's a big topic because it's something that we all deal with. You know, you're being honest, and the first one to raise your hand and say it, and others may not want to say it, but it happens. We all know it happens, and so why and what to do. That's the seminar, and the what to do is respect, and the foundation of Vedic culture is respect. And without Vedic culture, you get America. Or the Wild West, where it's, the Hatfields and the McCoys, and they're shooting it out in the OK Corral. It's like wild. It happens in where there's the absence of culture, or Vedic culture, or absence of respect. So respect has different dimensions, and it's in this whole seminar. And those who are cultured people, they know what respect is. And people that don't know what respect is, they're uncultured people. You get pardon me for saying so, but well-educated people are not necessarily cultured. Even the non-resident Indians that grew up in India, the culture in India has also diminished. It's Kali Yuga, and everything that's good gets diminished. So they have some faith, and they also have some confusion and some bad culture. And now they've come to America thinking, corporate life, money, wealth, and with it, happiness. And it doesn't happen. It's right in Bhagavad Gita. Yehi samsparsha ja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. It's right in Bhagavad Gita. Samsparsha ja. There's the expectation of happiness from the senses contacting sense objects. That's samsparsha ja. Samsparsha ja. Born from senses contacting sense objects, the expectation, happiness. Instead, dukkha yonaya. That the yoni, the place of birth of dukkha, is expecting happiness through senses contacting sense objects. Welcome to America. That's the name, but that's the place. Yahoo. And then they get a good education so they can get the career and get the this and that and get the stuff and get a sense of entitlement, and without culture. It's sad. Misleaders misleading the followers, and the followers going for it because there's happiness over there at the other end of the carrot stick. I'll get the carrot. I just have to keep going. I'll get the carrot. and then you bump into each other. There's there misunderstandings and unhappiness, and they may not say it, but they feel it. So that's the whole seminar. The cure, the cause is lack of culture, and the cure is respect. And it's throughout the Ramayana and Mahabharata. There's stories we tell. There's Bhagavatam. There's consequences for lack of culture and anticipating happiness without culture, without respect. Okay.
I have one extinction.
You have one more.
But I can.
Okay,
come.
go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for bringing this topic of devotee life in corporate frame. So my question is relating to corporate lifestyle.
Could you hold the microphone a little further away because something happens when you get a little older.
Okay.
Hearing is not so good.
Sorry, Maharaj.
So be careful, slowly and clearly.
Sorry, Maharaj. Okay. So I would like to ask, like in the corporate world, it is always like the extra mile that you do as an employee always takes you forward. So for most of the American colleagues that are here, even after going to home from work, they do have time to spend for the office in expanding or adding value or enhancing their skill set. But for a devotee, our life after work is like we get back to devotional service. Like we have 2 hours of chanting or reading, and then in sadhana, and also we plan to get up early, so we sleep early, so we cannot take anything beyond 9.
But
So how do we actually? But we still have a, like I'll talk about myself. I still have a desire to successfully be in office also. I want to keep my devotional life very active and firm, but at the same time, I also want to be competitive in the corporate world. So how do we balance this, or is it something that I have to do a correction to my thoughts?
okay, I got that. I'm very familiar with the question. For starters, I don't like the word balance. Balance means, I call it the 2-pocket program. There's the Krishna pocket and there's the me pocket. And that's the mantra. Krishna, Krishna, me, Krishna, Krishna. And how do I balance? It's not... So, pardon me, but I don't like... It's time management. And in time management, there's a principle. Here's the principle. It's really simple. You can do this with a kid. Here's a glass jar, and here's a big rock, here's some smaller rocks, here's some stones, and here's some sand. What goes in first? They'll all fit. What goes in first? The big rock. Question, what's the big rock? And so those things that make that Krishna connection vibrant, palpable, and that impacts everything else when it's there. And when it's not there, your story is the story, what you just narrated. Because I didn't prioritize the big rock first. So where does it go? You put in all the other stuff, and the big rock isn't going to fit. You wait till the very, and the sand and pebbles, and they'll fit, but you put the big rock. So what does that mean? In terms of time management, it means how Patanjali taught about practicing yoga, or how the Buddhists teach practicing yoga, or how our founder acharyas taught us about to practicing bhakti yoga. Rise early in the morning, like Mangala Arti. Mangala, before the sun rises, a certain number of muhurtas before the sun rises. That's when it is. So your day begins, whatever it takes, so then this is time management, whatever it takes to put the big rock first, do that. Whatever it takes, because that's the big rock. And everything was, it's time management. It's not balancing. It's time management. So when you're regulated, that's another principle of the mode of goodness life, even in corporate sector. If you go with passion, you're going to be consumed by passion. Dushparena analena cha. It burns like fire. There's no limit. Keep tilting that way because she's behind you and I want to have eye contact. That's okay. Thank you. And then the rest is, how long it takes to brush your teeth, or to do making the outside of the body clean, make the inside of the body clean, and you have some time, and you just within a time frame, Prabhupada is very regulated, busy, but very regulated, very regulated, very regulated, and good Vaishnava is very regulated. So the time that it takes for you to cook, or the time that it takes for you to name the other duties of your life, your household duties, and when it's over, the bell rings. It's over. It's over. And what you didn't finish, you didn't finish. And then you learn that when if you chant nice japa and do your sadhana in a proper way, your mind is more concentrated. And the time it takes you to do this and that or the other thing can be reduced because of being concentrated. So, and then when measure of time and to regulate your life, that's it. Then and I have to do my study, so because I do a lot of that. There's a time that's for that, and otherwise, I'm doing other stuff. And so you organize your life by time management. You know what the pebbles are. You know what the sand is. You know what the other stones are. So you just and be regulated. And in course of time, you may have to adjust the time allotment for this or that. But that's it. And that passion rule your life, like, it's important to you that you do well with your career and da-da-da-da-da. It's okay. But within boundaries, please. Because you have children, you have a home, and you have other things that are important. Blocks of time, I call it.
In cases like suppose we fail any day, it will be like a self guilt. Like I
Be
feel
like a what?
guilty feeling. So how that actually pulls me down. Like I'm neither good at my sadhana nor I'm good at my career. It becomes a blank situation.
Do you have children?
I do have.
Okay, I believe you. What do you do when you have a child, let's say someone younger than this young fellow, and they have a spill, they fall and they tumble to the ground, and you're there, your arms around them, and it's okay, and you get them to stand up again, however many times it takes till they can stand on their own, and it's okay. So don't. Who are you trying to prove yourself to? Yourself. It's your ego. The mind, and the mind is the voice of the ego. And the ego is, I am, and I have this expectation. So, please Krishna, and He's a loving Father, and He'll pick you up 100 million times. Don't worry. Krishna is very kind. If that's the person who you're serving, no problem. If that's not the person you're serving, unlimited problem. Bahushakayanantasya. You know the verse from Bhagavad Gita. It's 241. Vyavasayatmika bodhi ekeha kuranandana bahushakayanantasya bodhayojavasayinam. So don't be in the bahushaka category. Be in the vyavasayatmika bodhi category. Krishna is to be pleased. That's it. And he's loving. So he's not going to judge you and blame you and fault you. And even if you spill and fall and tumble, and it's okay. That's Krishna Bhakti. You're to the rescue. Yeah, and all the way in the back.
Maharaj, can I ask a difficult question? Is that okay? Difficult question.
Okay, I'll try to understand what you're saying, because my poor hearing, but you'll help me.
So I hope it's not offensive. I just want to say.
I'm ready, whatever it is.
I've been in the movement for a long time, since Pilani, 1995. You were instrumental in coming to Pilani and giving classes also at that time. So I made some in my journey. I struggled, and along with struggle came some challenges. Recently, I came with one challenge, and it's troubling me. The challenge is that our philosophy, especially in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm struggling with few things, like especially the dimensions of the universe, the distance between the sun and the moon, and a few things especially related to astronomy. And some devotees also came to me and they expressed certain dilemma and frustration that this doesn't make any sense. How do we deal with that situation where we find things challenging within our own philosophy and it doesn't make any sense? How do we satisfy our intellect and how do we satisfy our self, we are in the right path and we are not being cheated. Sometimes I feel
good. That's a good question. It's a good question. I'm not offended by your good question. It's a good question. Once upon a time, I was a younger devotee, and one of the things that I had experienced as a younger devotee was a devotee, a godbrother named Sadaputa, Richard Thompson, was a university student at Cornell University, and I met him as a devotee, not at the university, but he had a PhD from Columbia University, which is a prestigious place, and he read one of Prabhupada's books and he became a devotee. And he had a brain, this is me about him. Of all the persons that I've met in my life, he's one person who I can say with confidence, he is a genius. And one of the things that he did was he tackled questions like you're asking with the background of science and math, and then messages from the Bhagavatam about cosmology. He was so gifted that Srila Prabhupada entrusted him the service of building the model of the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, the structure of the universe. So I have a very modest understanding of what he wrote, and it's not, I'd have to refresh, which I haven't done because I've been busy with other things. But my memory of what he wrote is that there's the context of the explanation of the Bhagavatam has to do with the vertical dimension of the universe, not the the direct distance between the Earth planet and the moon and the sun, but the vertical dimension of the structure of the universe. And by looking at those passages of the Bhagavatam, of the fifth canto Bhagavatam, through that lens of what is this fifth canto Bhagavatam, anyways, because it doesn't conform with our math. And so, how do you process that? Which is what I understood your question is. I recommend two things. I recommend his writings, because he, as a scientist, he liked those challenging questions, and he researched them and wrote books about them. Different points, and has recordings as well. So find out the writings of Richard Thompson or Sadaputta Das, and you'll find out the answer to that question. The second is, there's a group of devotees in Gainesville, Florida, that because Sadaputta left his body, they collectively have been tasked with making the plan for the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, which is the structure of the universe. And I could put you in touch with that group of devotees, and you could ask them A to Z, and they probably will give you, a pamphlet on that topic or any of the other topics you have, or engage in direct dialogue with you until you're satisfied you got a clear answer. It's not just an academic pat on the head, but a palpable answer. Okay. Yes.
Krishna, please accept my dandavats and thank you for accepting this question. You mentioned earlier about the top 5 things Rupa Goswami mentions about like strong sadhana, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting holy names, then serve Vaishnavas, living in holy dham and worshipping deity form of the Lord.
Yeah, those 5.
You mentioned any 5 of them, you pick whatever appeals to you and you do it sincerely, can give you the love of Godhead, right?
It can bring one to the stage of raga bhakti.
Mm-hmm.
And through raga bhakti, a certain type of love of Godhead can come. But it's not like snap the fingers. It's a deep affinity for any one of them, or combination.
Right.
So now, what's your question?
Yeah, my question was like when you mentioned about serving Vaishnavas and things like that. So let's say, for example, if you have a spiritual master and they give you explicit instructions on something, right? So that becomes your mission of your life, right?
Right.
And then let's say, for example, you serve some Vaishnavas and you have community of devotees who are serving and they have an overarching mission for, let's say, the entire congregation, right? And they do that. So is there a certain preference around what should I...
Speak slowly.
Sorry. So is there a preference like when you have a direct instruction from a spiritual master and another senior Vaishnava or their group of Vaishnavas you serve, they have a different mission. You assist in their mission.
Sure.
Do you have a preference or how do you balance that?
Okay, here's the balance word again.
Sorry, I didn't want to mean that, but I'm just saying, how do you sincerely support?
Okay. Respect. You are a soul, and you have a relationship with the spiritual master who connects you to Krishna, the Supreme Soul. So that's numero uno. Now, I'm, along with others, they have other gurus or other, personalities that exemplify some of the aspects of bhakti, and they emphasize. Supposing there's someone that has a strong emphasis on deity worship, supposing there's someone has a strong emphasis on book publication or book distribution or prasadam distribution, so there's respect, diversity with respect. There's a little caveat, the consideration that these are in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They actually are aligned with him and his teachings, But we have Rupa Goswami and those essential acharyas that teach us exactly what the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are. So as long as there's alignment with those teachings, you smile with respect. And you may, in addition to the primary focus that you've been given, you may assist them in some way or another, or participate in some way or another, and make sure that you haven't deviated from your acharya's teaching, or you go back to your acharya and say something. I'm being encouraged. I'm feeling encouragement to do this or that. Is that okay with you? It's a relationship. So there's dialogue, and if the response comes yes or no, then you have a clear answer. If there's further, some embellishments and some adjectives that might modify the noun, then you take that, you follow that, because it's a principle. I'm not sure I've answered your question, though. Have I answered your question?
Right. You're basically saying that
respect.
In terms of the most important thing is to follow the direct instructions from the spiritual master.
Yes, most important. Yeah. And be respectful with others that have other whatever, especially in alignment with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's line in his teachings, his points of emphasis.
Thank you, Maharaj.
I just this morning, I was listening to Srila Prabhupada paying a visit to Mexico, and it was, this and that and the other thing were very nice. And then one of the things that was important to Prabhupada was deity worship, and he requested from the temple that had received him so nicely, etc., and doing lots and lots and making Prabhupada's books translated into the Spanish language and publishing them and distributing them, and he was very pleased. Then there was an area with deity worship, and it wasn't done nicely. He saw it, and he tasted it. He asked for some Mahaprasadam and said, this is bluntly, this is substandard. So here's the GBC personality and persons who he had trained were being told by Srila Prabhupada, this is substandard, explicitly. And then he gave what the standard is. It's a print. So from the Acharya, then in addition to all these other nice things that they are doing and want to do and deity worship. And it's not like that's all that Prabhupada spoke about. He spoke, if you want to say one thing, book publication and distribution. And they were doing it. Deity worship. Because it was substandard. Because it will support, long term, it will support everything. So, and that's one, a same group with one Acharya. But it's what does he want? What does he want? And we do that which he wants, because he wants. And that's it.
Thank you, Maharaj.
You okay?
Yeah, thank you.
I'll refer you to a nice verse. It's in Prahlad Maharaj's discussion with Lord Nrsingadev. He's offered prayers. Lord Nrsingadev, you please me very much. I'd like to offer you some benediction. Please ask. What did Prahlad say? Read the Bhagavatam. You have a copy of the Bhagavatam?
Yes, ma'am.
So read that section. And Prahlad's answer is 2 verses. He said, one who engages in service to a master with the expectation of getting something in return, he's a merchant. He's not a servant. Business. Then the next verse is, he said, don't tempt me in this way. Between you and me, there's only one thing. You're the master. I'm the servant. That's it. There's nothing else between us. And then how do we know what the master wants? From the spiritual master, we know what the personality of Godhead wants. unless you're face to face with the personality of Godhead. So he's an example. He's expressing the teaching of pure devotion. I don't want something. Don't ask me to ask for something. And then I'm a merchant. So what do you want? And that's it. That's pure devotion. Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Excuse me. I have one quick question that as our center is just opened 2 years ago and we'll be celebrating in this
2 years?
Yeah, this July we'll be
Okay.
celebrating the second year.
Okay.
So my ask is, as new people coming to our center, a lot of very exposed to Krishna consciousness in the very early time. So please share your tips and some guidance how to cultivate them in Krishna consciousness so that they don't feel kind of a pressure, they don't feel that there is something injected or a little bit forced or something. So rather than developing a natural way, they develop Krishna consciousness. Being in the corporate world, they say, oh, I'm getting more pressurized, you're chanting Hare Krishna, then reading Bhagavatam. So there may be some people are more attracted, some are not. So is there a way we can understand?
Sure. I
Thank you.
get the question.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell the Prabhupada story to answer your question. The key phrase is fan the spark. So one morning in Vrindavan, there's morning walks every day in Vrindavan, and what Prabhupada did is he walked out the front gate, there was big, Haribol, Prabhupada, and out the front gate, turned right, then there wasn't all those shops, it was just open fields. Now it's crazy. And so, and then, walked for about a half an hour, then turned around and came back. Same, fields on either side. So when we got closer to the front gate of the temple, we could hear the kirtan. They wanted to receive Prabhupada coming back. So he looked around, and those of us that were in the morning walk, he asked, where are all the devotees? And somebody said, they're having kirtan at the gate, Prabhupada, waiting for you to come back, which wasn't what he was asking. Then Prabhupada said, when there's opportunity to associate with the spiritual master in his physical presence, one should do so. And when there isn't, one should hear his messages, recorded or otherwise. So Vani and Vapu, he used those terms. And then he looked around at all of us and said, of the two, Vapu is more important, because in the absence of the spiritual master, then you always can hear his messages, and that's through book distribution, etc., etc. Then he said, through this method of association, then what is meant to happen? And he held his hand up like this, and he said, it's preaching. Now, this is the answer to your question. Preaching means fan the spark. You see a spark, not too much. So he moved his hand like this. That we're right on the pavement, heading for the temple. Fan the spark, not too much, and then from that spark can come a flame. Then looked around and said, and a very expert person, the flame can become a big blaze. The principle that Prabhupada applied was he didn't demand anything. He didn't push. He encouraged. And someone showed enthusiasm, he encouraged more. But he didn't push. He didn't demand anything. So, same. Find in your community some people like this, and some people like that, and some people like the other. So you fan the spark. Like parenting. You have a son, you have a daughter, you have a child. What are they like? Ideally aligned towards Krishna, But, you fan the spark, whatever that is. And then that spark can become a flame. And then grow and grow and grow. That's the principle of parenting or education or training or growing. And then you're also an individual. There may be some things that you like. I had some opportunity to spend a little bit of time with Jagannath Swami Prabhu. And we know what he likes. Jayananda, George Harrison, and Jagannath. Boy, he can talk and nonstop. He's like, wow. So he has a liking. It's okay. As a leader, he has a liking, and people may like it or not like it. He likes Jagannath Rath Yatra, and on 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 and on. Okay, he likes it. So a community may grow around a person who is a leader who has a certain liking, but that leader, it'll become the diversity, which is very natural, will expand when the leader understands how to nourish what other people like, along with he likes. Bury it, but you find what people like and inspires them, and the Krishna connection for them, and you fan the spark. Whatever it might be, cooking, organizing, something. In our Naperville community, there's 2 ladies that are very gentle persons, and they're the best. They're completely dedicated to book distribution, which to me is like, it's really not their nature. But I didn't say do book distribution, that's why they're doing it. But they're doing it, and they're very creative and very enthusiastic, and I just, fan the spark. So, etc. Whatever, book distribution, Rath Yatras, festivals, something. Fundamental chanting, japa, quality japa, reading Prabhupada's books after different systems of. So find ways to do that work for your community members, and kaboom, the Hare Krishna explosion. And just have to fan sparks. And a guide in terms of character, like this first question about people bumping into each other, education and training to help them understand how to be respectful and not step on other people's toes because they're entitled to step on people's toes because they're important. I'm an educated, wealthy person. I can step on toes. It's okay. It's not okay. So, training and education on Vaishnava etiquette. Although many of the persons that come to our temples, they already have some inclination, some bhakti inclination. But they also have some baggage, unfortunately, because of conditioning. And help them get on the other side of that. Okay? One more question, and we're going to end. Yeah, you have the last question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for a series of nice classes, wonderful classes over the last few days. One small question was, in one of the classes you were saying...
Speak slowly.
In one of the classes...
I know it's difficult for you to speak slowly. I know you very well.
Yes, Maharaj. The inclination or intuition towards bhakti...
Slowly.
Sorry, Maharaj. The inclination and the intuition towards devotional service for someone comes because of some background of Ajnata Sukriti.
Background of?
Ajnata Sukriti.
Ajnata Sukriti,
He may have gotten.
Okay.
But the question was like some of the like we read and saw like some of the hippies in Haight Ashbury and Bowery, uh, like did they also have some kind of like Adhyat Sukriti or
Yes. Yeah. Otherwise, how did they become so quickly attracted? There are other factors, but certainly that's one. Okay, we're. You want to ask something? Okay. 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 There's a question in the room, and then we'll do it. How many online? One. Okay. Then that's it.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, it's a very, I've been having this question for quite some time, but I just want to hear from you. When we are coming for devotion, it could be through many means. Like for some it is kirtan, for some it is some classes they have attended, maybe a lecture.
Sure.
For some it could be reading. So that is the one medium that has attracted them to come to Krishna consciousness.
Fine.
So when they become a regular sadhaka,
Okay.
should they hold on to that, like, because that has brought them here, like they have an extra interest in that division. So if they are not doing that, then they are not feeling encouraged more to take part, like getting into more involved. So is it advised that they can just cling on to that part, so they are getting that boost from that part of the
Well,
division?
my experience is, I'm going to take the microphone from you. Pass it back there. Oh, you have one. Okay. My experience is, and Prabhupada's teaching is, bhakti is dynamic, not static. So someone may start with one of those things you mentioned, and in course of time, through association and their bhakti growing, their affinity starts to modify a little bit. You know, in other words, again, it's the same as the fan the spark. Spontaneously, one may diversify. Spontaneously, one may stay towards one track. And it's okay, etc. And diversity is fine. So it's not steer them away from that and only towards this or something. It's fan the spark, provided it's in alignment with the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and respectful to others. Then fan the spark. Online, we're ready.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So the question is, how do we answer assertively non-devotees who ask a reference where Krishna mentioned that you should not eat onion and garlic?
Oh, the onion garlic question. It's not Krishna mentions, it's in scripture. But it's the person who's asking this question, you send me a little text message, please, and I'll send you the document that has the answer to that question. And it's in scripture. It's not Krishna said. It's Padma Purana, Hari Bhakti Vilas, and other scriptural teaching, because Hari Bhakti Vilas is resourcing what other scriptures say, and it's compiled it all. But how Gaudiya Vaishnavas make choices in what they do. It's a how-to, Hari Bhakti Vilas is a how-to manual. So, you remind me, I'll send you, that in 24 hours you'll have the answer. What's the scriptural reference that says this? Onions, garlic. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So we'd like to express our deepest gratitude and thanks. His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj come over here to Dublin, ISKCON Dry Central Valley. And we are very honored to have him here to speak the adoption. He changed the name, Adoption of Bhagavad Culture, a practical guide to corporate professionals. Those who have attended online in our YouTube, X, and Facebook, we'd like to also thank them for joining tonight. It is a working day, and Maharaj will be here for some more time before he leaves. So if you like to chat for some time, maybe you can make the room, small room. flight tomorrow morning, so Maharaj will leave. Huh? Maharaj will hand over some maha. Especially, we can ask the children, kids to come over, take first priority, and then the adults. And so our general style of ISB and mini ISB. So everybody said 3 times Hari Bol for Maharaj. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj ki! Srila Prabhupada ki! निताय गौर सुंदर भगवान की पतित पावन सिद्धि पावन जगन्नाथ स्वामी की गौर प्रेमानंदे थैंक यू
Yours. You're playing? You're playing?
Ram is going to sing.
So that kids don't accidentally press buttons.
Oh.
It locks everything.
How do you unlock it? Just press it?
You just press it. I was just putting on the heat.
Where is the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Please be seated. We'll have nursing prayer and then we'll go for prasadam. Hare Krishna. What is Lalita? Oh, you don't have sari. Can you call Ananda? Please be seated. We'll have nursing prayer, then prasadam, okay? Ananda can do it. Oh, Mahesh. The nursing prayer only, okay? Nursing Aarti. So you know this one, flower and that one. 3 things, okay? So can you make the incense? Yeah, you can offer. Yeah. You can offer, that's fine. So who are the kids who wants to sing nursing a prayer? Here. Okay, come here. Come to the front. Get a kartal. Come here. Oh, you have already? Give it back to me this way. All right, chant 1, 2, 3, start.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shrilatankanakalaye. Itto Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yeto yeto yami tato Narsimha. Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade. Tava Kara Kamalavarena Kadbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubinga Savadrita Narahari Jai Jagadish Hare. Jai Jagadish Hare. Jai Jagadish Hare. Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. महाप्रसादे गोविंदे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
जय श्री श्री निताय गौर सुंदर भगवान की, श्री श्री पतित पावन दधिभावन जगन्नाथ स्वामी की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे. So thank you devotees for joining tonight on Monday special, and we'd like to also express our deepest gratitude and thanks for those who have prepared prasadam. So I know it is who else? Sriji Priya Mataji, Prem Kishore Mataji, Devahuti Mataji. Anybody else? Prema Madhuri Mataji. Please give them a big round of applause. Huh? Neelam Mataji also got some prasad. And her friend. Hare Krishna. Also, we'd like to thank Mayank Prabhu and Atyant for making this broadcasting so the people can see online and you can view. Haribo. We'd also like to acknowledge Chaitanya Mataji for making the beautiful garlands and this flower bases. Please give her a big round of applause. And all our pujaris, Srita Kamala, Mahesh, Lalita, and Girija, Sadasiv, all has been doing pujari services for every day, 9 to 10 a.m. And they're doing the DD dressings, offering bhoga and every day. So please give them a big round of applause to us. So it's a devotee community. Everybody is coming towards, they wanted to serve more. So Nitai Gorsundar, I think he's missing all of us. We are coming in the weekend, but today we come in the weekdays. He's really very happy and excited, isn't it? Looks so happy. Jagannath Swami is really giving his blessings to all of you because Tulsi is dancing in front of them, isn't it? So, and today somebody said, yesterday also some celebrated Amavasya. Today is Amavasya. This is the greatest day, the Amavasya transition, and it comes 3 years or many years. And on this date, if you donate anything to this Lord's temple, many people donate cow or gold. But I don't know you have a cow at your home, but at least you have a gold or silver. So we can still accept the offerings. We are trying our best to make some gold chain, gold jewelries or ring for the Lord. If you like to give even 1 gram, 0.05 gram, doesn't matter, you bring, because the gold will remain at your home. There are people who knows they died and they don't know how many gold they put in the bank and they remain there forever. Sometimes the government seizes. It's gone, right? So better give one ring to the Lord, isn't it? Do you feel like? I know by many of my South Indian friends, they have so many gold in the occasions they bring it out. If you give you one little bit of sight, that's also a great thing. So try to give. You have given money, you have given hard work, you have given everything. But having anyone has given gold to God, except those who go to Tirupati, except your home duties, that's a different thing. Means nobody has given. It's a great opportunity, isn't it? So please come next time. But today, anyway, this opportunity also don't go away. So which is Purushottam Mas, this great month, Amavasya finishing. And we have the program with His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. So don't be shy. We have also credit card options and cash options and gel options and stock options. Everything is now feasible in our website and we send it in WhatsApp. So whatever options you feel like, you wanted to give gel, PayPal or credit card, you're most welcome to do a little bit of donations, even at $20, a $50 is nothing, peanuts. So you can give it, the temple can survive with your money because daily we are doing now a lot of services for the lordships, rent we have to pay and many other things, and we just have help and support of each of you. We are not demanding, none of us are a big businessman sponsoring. Everybody is a community contributing a little bit, a service and a little money. Do you agree? Yes? Yes, sir, yes. Thank you very much. So we'll chant the Prasadam prayer. That's the most exciting part and fun part. So Prasadam prayers. In the meantime, we will wrap up this chair and the devotees will put the tarp here and then we will request everybody to be in the line, collect the Prasadam, come over here and make line like that. 1 row, 2 row, 3 row. If you have a group of friends, don't make a big small circle and occupy the half of the space. We are in limited space. Make line, 2, 3 line, at least 6 line we make here and you can have prasadam. Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmane Vaishnave Salpa Punya Patam Rajan Vishwasanaiva Jayate Sarira Vidyajal Chodendriya Tahe Kal Jive Fel Visaya Sagare Tar Madhye Jivati Lobh Maya Sudurmati Take Jeta Kathina Sansare Krishna Bada Daya Maya Karivare Jiva Jaya Saprasadanna Dilo Bhai Se Annamrita Pao
राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ, प्रेम डाको श्री चैतन्य निताई, जय नीमाई जय नीताई, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ महाप्रसादम की। So we have also two announcements I forgot. One is June 21st, the International Yoga Day. We'll be starting yoga for the women and yoga for the men this morning. So 21st, it's I think Sunday. So please do come. It is free. And also we are starting Bhakti Sastri program on September 14th. So you will be getting the announcement how to enroll and register. If you have not done, it is an academic course. Bhakti Sastri will be taught here as well as online in Zoom. So please register if you are planning to be part of that Bhakti Sastri course. And also we have a lot of kids classes which is coming on, summer camp as well as in the evening on Friday. Please look into littlekrishnakids.com and join for your kids for this any of the classes. Hare Krishna. Please go and take prasadam. Thank you very much. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.